Hello, Wanderland. It's been a while. Sorry about that. Last few months have just, I don't know, one thing after another. It's kept me from filming. But we're here in a new year. Welcome to 2024. Happy New Year. So today, this morning, I'm out for a few hours, do a little filming. Got the sun in my face. Let me try to fix that. Got a few things on mind today. I want to talk about the new year and my plans. Want to do some shooting. I'm out at Harrison Lake National Fish Hatchery this morning. Went here a couple of years ago and it was pretty good, so I've been meaning to get back. So hoping to do some winter birding. And I'm thinking also the winter foliage. There's a nature trail in the woods here. Might make for some good black and white monochrome photos, which I don't usually do. So that's the plan today. Let's get to it. So happy New Year, first of all. Welcome to 2024. If you're watching this in the future, welcome to whatever day it is. Yeah, so New Year's, of course, is when we think about the new year, right? And what we want to accomplish, what we hope to see in the new year. So that's one thing I want to talk about today, both for the channel here and personally. So where do I begin with that? I think let's start with photography, right? Because that's why we're here, basically. So I'm thinking I've become a little displeased lately with my output. And not that it's bad, it's just not quite what I want, you know? So this year I'm hoping to be a little more intentional with my photography. There's nothing wrong with going out and shooting whatever you see. That's kind of the point of photography, right? To be prepared to capture whatever it is that you're looking at with whatever gear you have. So it's kind of why we're all here, I hope. But when I go out this year, I think I want to have things in mind to do, like whether it's macro, landscape of a certain type, panoramas, monochrome, like I have in mind today. Yeah, and I want to be more intentional when I'm composing shots, thinking about how I want to edit things in post. Yeah, that. So that's probably number one for photography. And you know, I'm thinking about the channel, and I'm up to almost 300 subscribers, which is awesome, especially compared to where I was a year ago. But I'm thinking I should take a moment and introduce myself a little bit for those who are new, if you don't mind. So I'm Kelly. Might have mentioned that. I don't think I did. But yeah, this is Wanderland. So the idea at first was to kind of just vlog my excursions. I like to hike, I like to get out, and I like to photograph, of course. But kind of realized that people don't care too much. Well, maybe some people do, but most people don't care too much about my own adventures as much as they want to document their own. So kind of trying to find a middle ground between documenting what I do and turning it into photographic, advice, sure. Advice, tips, techniques, you know, whatever, that would help others capture their own adventures. So I think there's more value in that for most people than just watching me traipse about the woods. But if you enjoy that, thanks. Let's see, I'm 48, I'll be 49 this year, 2024. So I feel a little old for the YouTube game, but I'm still healthy so far, and I'd like to take advantage of that. So definitely want to get out and about more this year and document more of that. So that's my plan. And like I said, I want to be more intentional with photography and give you guys some more tips and techniques and stuff along the way. So that'll be the plan. And hopefully I can find that balance between my own wanderings and the photography stuff. The video that brought a lot of folks onto the channel was my kind of R7 review, sort of review. So I know gear stuff is important, and I like to cover gear, so I'll do more of that. Planning to get some new gear this year, hopefully. I got my eye on the Canon 10 to 20 millimeter. Really want that one, but it's hard to find right now. Pretty unavailable everywhere. And of course the R5 Mark II should be coming out this year, and I definitely want that, if I can talk the wife into it. So see how that goes. But as far as growing the channel, that's kind of my next, call it a resolution, call it a goal. Like I said, I'm at almost 300 subscribers. I'd like to get to 1,000 this year. I want to get towards that critical mass of subscribers and watch time, where the YouTube algorithm will maybe push me a little more and get me towards monetization, because I would love to get there. I don't want to flood you guys with ads and sponsorships or anything like that. I don't see that ever happening. But I'd like to get big enough to where I get some revenue from the channel, make it a little more worthwhile. And I enjoy it, but I don't want to say it's not worthwhile. But yeah, give me some more money for the gear that I want to show you guys. So that would help. Maybe I'll start selling some prints this year, give that a try. I don't see that going too far, but could be interesting. Yeah, and I want to be more consistent with posting. So I'm going to shoot for about once a week this year. Even if it's short videos, just quick little wanders, or quick editing sessions, if I can get more comfortable filming at my desk, which I want to do. So yeah, that'll be the plan. Stay tuned. If I mentioned that it's cold this morning, I think it got down to just below 20 Fahrenheit last night. Right now it's right about freezing, I think. 32-ish, maybe even less, probably about 30. It's cold for a Florida boy, but I like it. Let's see. So this, I mentioned, I'm at Harrison Lake Fish Hatchery. So all these are mostly dry ponds right now. I don't know how active this facility is, but it's nice for walking around. Has a whole nature trail section back in the woods too. But there are a couple ponds up front that are full, so I'm hoping the birding action will be better up there. I mentioned I'm here for birding. I want to make birding a little more of a focus this year too, because I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And it's fun to capture a good birdie shot. And most of my bird shots right now are birds on sticks, basically. So I want to get more into, or better, more in the mindset and better at capturing action shots. So birds in flight, yeah, especially, that would be nice. I hear birds. I've seen a few little ones, LBBs, little brown birds, as I like to call them. Not sure what, sparrows, I think. But yeah, hoping up front, and as I go through the woods, hopefully we'll catch some bird action. See what we can find. Let's see, I've covered my photographic New Year's goals, I think, channel goals. One photographic goal I want to do more of, or more video too, is the drone. I don't use my drone nearly enough, and I want to get better about that and get better at it, for that matter. So that'll be part of the plan. Try to get some drone shots of this place before I go. Should be interesting footage to throw in here and there. What other New Year's resolutions or goals can I mention? Health, I guess. I mentioned I'm getting close to 50. Still healthy so far, but I want to make sure I stay that way. So my diet kind of sucks. I should work on that. That doesn't really, it's not really relevant to the channel, is it? Other than that I want to stay alive to keep making content and mobile to get out and about to do it. So, yeah. And I mentioned, I think I did a similar video last year, and I mentioned kindness is a big goal of mine. So when I'm out and about, I want to be mindful, look for opportunities to be kind and take advantage of those opportunities. Because, you know, the world sucks. Have you noticed? Really kind of does. And I think no small part of that is, and this is not a political channel by any means, but yeah, no small part of the world sucking is that people don't look for those opportunities to be kind as much as they could and should. So yeah, be the change you want to see, right? I hope you'll join me in that. But as far as the channel goes, I get comments now and then that ask questions or make suggestions, and I love that. Thank you very much if you watch, if you like, if you comment. I appreciate all that YouTube stuff. But yeah, if there's any topics that you have in mind, or any destinations in my area that you happen to know of, would like to see, let me know. By the way, I'm in Central Virginia, Richmond area. So I like to get over to the mountains, the Blue Ridge, go to the beach now and then over in Virginia Beach, DC, Washington, DC is not far away. Traffic makes it a little rougher, but it's there. And yeah, I just like to get out and about, but photographically in particular, if there's any gear combination that I happen to have that you would like to see tried out, I can do that. Any photographic subjects you're interested in, let me know what you'd like to see. I will try to indulge. And I need video topics, especially if I'm going to try to do a weekly video. So, all right. Now I'm going to walk a bit. I'm on the back edge of the ponds here. Let me flip around. This one actually has water and ice this morning. Not thick enough to walk on, don't worry. I won't try that. And I'm hearing some birds. So if I head over down this trail where I'm going, this takes me to the path through the woods. So I'll get out there. I'll switch to my 100 to 500. I'm hearing a gaggle of geese right now. Yeah, see what we can find bird-wise and monochrome-wise. Let's do it. Crossing the bridge to the woodsy portion of the trail, and I found alongside the bridge this tree, which I think might make for some interesting monochrome with the branches, the multiple layers of the branches, and the water and reflections underneath. So what I'm gonna do, I've got here I am. I'm shooting R5 today, by the way, and I've got the TTArtisan 50mm 0.95. Gonna go for some background blur in the branches. So I'm at, it's not sharp at all at 0.95, so I'm at 1.1 or 1.4, kind of bouncing between those two. So I'm gonna see what I can do with that. And of course this is a fully manual lens, so I have to set the aperture and focus manually. Yeah, it's an interesting structure, hopefully. See how that comes out. Out in the little woodsy trail here, and I'm thinking monochrome at the moment. So when you're shooting monochrome, the things you're looking for are texture, but mostly light and shadow. So if I flip around here, you know I like down the trail shots, and this one with the shadows of the trees could be interesting. So I'm gonna grab I've I've got the 35 millimeter and I have my 24 to 105. I think that's going to call for, well, if I step back, I think I can do it with the 35. Let's give that a try. This is quite a tree. What's left of it? Well, the birds today, so far, are far more heard than seen. And they are avoiding me quite a bit. Hopefully we'll still get lucky. But in the meantime, I think I mentioned I don't often shoot black and white, at least not with black and white in mind. And that's really for the same reason that I shoot RAW, which is that I don't like to throw data away, color data included. So certainly there's times when shooting black and white, or at least editing to black and white, makes sense. I've seen some funky lighting conditions, different colored lights, different light temperatures that don't blend well. Black and white works to get you out of that situation sometimes. But it can be nice, as you know, artistically speaking, if you look for scenes that would look good in black and white, which is what I'm trying to do. If I'm succeeding, I don't know. We'll see. In the meantime, it's always nice to be out. This is my second outing with the DJI Pocket 3. I'm liking this thing so far. It's very nice. I'm shooting in a normal color mode today. I found the D-Log M, which is supposed to be better for post-processing. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that yet. Maybe I'll work on that. But the normal color mode looks good, and it's still 10-bit, so it should be just as editable. Anyway, still keeping an eye out for birds and black and white subjects, of course, and the details are important, right? So I'm noticing as I'm walking along here, this grass with lots of little curlies, and the green and yellow don't really matter if I'm thinking monochrome, of course, but they could be an interesting gradation of color. So I'm going to try to take a couple shots of that and see what happens. All right, hope I don't have head hair too bad. Down in that woodsy trail, it's a nice area. I think there's supposed to be a little family cemetery back in there somewhere from one of this land's historical owners, but I haven't found it yet. There's a lot of posts with numbers on them, like there's supposed to be a trail guide or, you know, some sort of interpretive guide. But I haven't been able to find it online. Should see if the visitor center is open today. Maybe they have it. But anyway, it's called Harrison Lake Fish Hatchery because there's a lake too. So I'm on the trail toward the lake, hoping for some winter waterfowl out there. We get a lot of migratory ducks that come down for the winter. That would be nice. And whatever else I can see. On we go. Here, a woodpecker. Went through a little bird hotspot there along this trail. Birding I really enjoy it, but it can definitely be challenging. And, you know, that's probably part of the enjoyment, right? Getting a really good bird shot. It's not easy. So when you get one, it's definitely a sense of accomplishment. But when it comes to birding, I consider myself definitely in the middle. So like, there's beginner birds that even if you know no other birds, you can identify, right? Like bald eagle, maybe an aninga if they live in your area. Some of the bigger, really unique birds. Great blue heron, yeah, stuff like that. Then you have your next tier down, which are unique enough that it's not difficult to identify them. Cardinals, certain kinds of sparrows and woodpeckers, that kind of thing. You kind of need to know a decent amount of birds to know those, and those I've got down pretty well. Then your next tier, there's probably one in between there somewhere, but the tier that I have trouble with is like your little brown birds, the LBBs, all the different kinds of sparrows and thrushes, wrens. It helps to know which ones live in your area, obviously. That narrows it down quite a bit. But when migrants move through, I'm pretty lost on those. So I've got a good friend who's very good at birding. So hopefully I'll spend some more time with him this year and pick up some more tips and tricks. I hope this trail is going where I think it's going. I'll have to check the map here. So yeah, see what we see at the lake. At least those birds, a little more cooperative. I think maybe a hermit thrush, that'd be a nice one. And a sparrow of some kind, which I'll identify later. On we go. Yeah, here we are at Lake Harrison. Pretty. Those reflections on the trees, that'll make some good black and white, I think. And maybe the trees further out, like these with those in the background, that might be good. There's a bunch of geese over there. See, I'm just flipping topics, right? I was going from the monochrome right back to the birding. There's geese. I saw some waterfowl out there swimming pretty far off. Let's see. I'll shoot them, but I don't think I can tell what they are from here. If I magnify, maybe. Oh, ooh, those are actually ringnecks. Too far off to be too much use, but see what happens. Last time I was here, it was not winter, so there were some turtles hanging out over here, but it's too cold for that, I think. Okay. I'll shoot a little bit here, see what happens. One thing for sure, I think the sweep of this lake calls out for a panorama. So I'm going to manual. I've got the 35mm f1.8 on here. I'm going to do like this. So portrait panorama. F9, I think. And 1/200th looks good. I'm going to focus. There's some branches or tree limb sticking out of the water here, which I think is cool. So first I'm going to focus, actually, I'm going to go about mid-ground. Yeah, the reflections in the water, I think that'll work at this focal length. Then you just want to sweep around, keep your horizon level, make sure your frames overlap. If you can get any that work as frames on their own, that's always cool. Just like that. Not bad, hopefully. All right. I'd say that was a fairly decent first outing of the year. A little bit of a bust for birding, but not too bad. Saw a lot, just didn't get to shoot a lot. Hopefully I got some good monochrome stuff. We'll see how that turns out. I think I picked a decent location for it, at least right here. Yeah. So Happy New Year, or whatever it is when you're watching this. But if you are watching it near the beginning of 2024, I hope this year is kind to you and to all of us. Thank you as always for watching, coming along as I get out and wander. Thank you for liking and subscribing and commenting and all that good YouTube stuff, if you do. And I hope you'll join me as the year goes on. So until next time, be good to yourself, take care of each other. Don't forget to be awesome. Get out and wander. Later.